Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode on Unique's Couples. Before I do the official introduction, I've always dreamt of being a talk show host, like Oprah. And I wanted to take my show to the different islands in the Bahamas. And because of Linda and Vito Patrick, they made my dream a reality. This evening, I will be your host. I'm Corenda Sween Roll, and I will be hosting this evening's episode along with some fantastic coaches, individuals who have experiences in with their mothers or as mothers themselves. And I'm so happy to welcome this evening our special guests, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves momentarily. But our topic this evening: moms make mistakes too. Mhm. Moms make mistakes too. And today's discussion is not about the best advice moms give, but the worst mistakes and how we can deal with them. I want you to, first of all, join Vito and Linda, Patrick, for Couples Connect, Communicate to Elevate Work. And this workshop is designed to get you sharing and understanding your partner in new ways as you connect with head and heart. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how long you've been married. I am told that they have a way of connecting through this particular platform, Communicate to Elevate workshop. And this workshop is designed for sharing and understanding your partner in new ways as you connect with head and heart. So we're encouraging you to register today to reserve your spot. There is limited spaces, and I know a lot of advertisements say it, but believe you me, the space is limited, and I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. So see the link in the description and comments for more details and to reserve your spot. If you are not a member, this is another plug, not a member of the How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook private group, be sure to join today and register to receive the 7 days of loving tracker, and you can receive that free of charge. And if you're anything like me, I like some free stuff, especially when it's quality stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couple YouTube channel as yet, go ahead and subscribe right now. Subscribe, like our videos, and click the notification bell so you can be alerted once we go live for our Unique Couples live events. See you live on Unique Couples YouTube channel every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I gave you all of the details, and I hope that you were writing. If not, you will have the opportunity. You can play this back later on and get all of the information. And at the end, I would be able to share some additional information with you. Again, welcome to Unique Couples. And I'm Corenda S. Swain Roll, filling in for Vito and Linda Patrick. And Linda is celebrating, well, the Patricks are celebrating with Linda's mom her 16th birthday. If you see Linda's mom, you would believe me. She looks like she is 16. So we want to all join in and wish them a happy birthday as they celebrate their mom's birthday today. And I want you to know that I'm here in the beautiful on the beautiful island of Bimini in the Bahamas. And I I was trying to find a location to do the show, and I looked at this beautiful coconut tree behind me, and I saw some coconuts. Man, and my husband was such a good husband. He was able to pick one for me, Tiffany, on it. And I got me some fresh coconut water. Only place you'll find this right now is right here in Bimini. where I'm at. I am in Bimini Bay, and I'm sitting on the balcony of one of the resorts, and I am done bragging. So I'm going to allow everybody else now to introduce themselves as we get prepared for this evening's topic. Dan?
Oh, hello. My name is Dan Smith. I'm retired. I was in law enforcement for 40 years. Now have two other businesses that I'm doing. It's a handyman service and a lawn service. Deborah and I have 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl, 6 grandchildren. She called me her heartbeats. So it's a pleasure to be on here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Deborah. Have anything to add to that?
Yes, we're from Jacksonville, Florida, and we've lived here all our lives. I love it here, and I just enjoy being on Linda's and Vito's platform. So I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to go down now to Johnny.
Hello. Johnny Clark. I'm a truck driver. The father of 2 angel babies. What am I missing?
We have a goddaughter.
Oh yeah, we have a goddaughter. She'll be 25 this year. Lord. Yeah, she's 25. We do have several businesses ourselves that we do. Like Vito said, I have to go to work here in a little while, but yeah, I'm also the associate pastor at the church where we attend, along with my wife. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Tiffany, add to it.
I am Tiffany Clark. I also serve at our church, NBIC Church, as associate pastor. We have our own ministry. I Am the Promise Ministries as well. Like Johnny said, we do have 2 angel babies. For those that don't know what angel babies are, those are, we had 2 miscarriages. So they went to be with the Lord. But we do have a goddaughter. Her name is Larisha. And we had the privilege of raising her since she was 15. She's 24 now. So we have some experience about being parents, and we helped raise several other children. We've been married 13 years. I be forgetting. We've been married 13 years. Yeah, we just thank Vito and Linda for allowing us to be on their platform as well. Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Good. Awesome. Awesome. And Thaddeus.
Hello. My name is Thaddeus. She said Thaddeus. I like your accent. I like the accent, though. I love it. I love the accent. My name is Thaddeus. I retired out of the military after 20 years in the military, and we are currently entrepreneurs. We start a business coaching and mentoring business for couples, relationship, and individuals. We currently live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And we have been married, will be 36 years next month. Wow, we come up on a milestone. 36 years next month. So we're thankful to Linda and Vito for allowing us to come on their platform and to share and to hopefully help someone in their relationship.
Good. Good. Amanda, take it over.
Yes, I'm Amanda Randolph, and as my husband said, we have been married 36 years. We have 2 sons. Our oldest son is our oldest son just turned 28. Ooh, I had to think about that for a little bit. And our youngest son just turned 13. They are 15 years and 1 week apart. Okay, so I'm the oldest of 8. And I kind of acted as a surrogate mom for 2 of my siblings that are under me, because there's about 11-year difference between me and the next oldest.
All right. Awesome. So thank you so much. And this show is not only about or not for only mothers or for parents. It is for us who've experienced our mothers, I want to say mistakes, because if we really look back at it, we know our mama made some mistakes with some of the things that she did or she said to us. But we're going to be discussing those mistakes. I'm a mother of, I have two biological children. My oldest is 27 and my youngest is 24. And then I'm celebrating 9 months of marriage.
Congrats.
Blended family. So I have a 26-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 10-year-old, and I have a grandbaby. So, so everything that I've learned over the years may not have been 100% correct, and we're going to be talking about that this evening. We're going to be open about that, and we want our viewers to put in the chat some of the things that they found that they made as mothers, some of the mistakes they've made as mothers, or some of the mistakes they believe their mothers have made. And we want this to be a lively discussion, honest, and let's get down to it. And again, welcome to Unique Clap-Ups for those of you who are just joining us. And the topic is Moms Make Mistake Too. Moms make this mistake too. So, first question I would like for us to discuss or to talk about. Think about your own mothers. Did you at a point or at one point in your life think that they were perfect and could do no wrong? And if you felt that way, your mindset changed. Did you ever think that your mama did no wrong? She was perfect.
You first on that.
I see everybody nodding their head. Maybe when we were younger, and I'm sure we can't fully remember now, but what are some of the things that you can remember that was so positive about your mother? What are some of the things?
I can remember with my mom. I think I was about 9 or 10, somewhere in there, and I would always see her busy. To say, she held 2 to 3 jobs, sometimes even 4, just to make sure that my siblings and I have. And there's a great age difference between me and my older brother, because it's 4 of us. It's 2 older boys, my sister, and then myself. My sister and I are 2 years apart, and then there's a gap between her and the next one, which is 4 years, and then 2 years. So it was just her and I growing up. My brothers, they were gone. They were doing their own thing for a while, and I would always just see my mom, hard working and at it. But when she took a break, she took a break. So one thing I can say is just looking at her work ethic is what I picked up from.
Good.
Yes.
All righty. Anyone else want to share or add to that? What are some of the things, the highlights? We as we became adults or we got older, even as early as a teenager, maybe prior to that, we know our mamas made mistakes. But there was a point when we thought they were perfect. And I can think of a few where I thought my mom was perfect. I thought, I was like, wow, not realizing that what she was doing was protecting us from some of the emotions that she was going through. I want you to get this. She worked nights, late nights. So when she got us early in the morning, she would take us to the beach. What mama does that? Early morning and have you at the beach and you're enjoying yourself. And then after you get ready for school. And as an adult, I came to learn why she was doing that. And I don't want you to get me wrong. I love my dad and we have a very good relationship, but he was stressing her out. And she did not want to go home to that. And she didn't want us to be exposed to that. So she did it in a way where she removed us from that environment, giving him time to get to work. And then she got home, got us ready for school, and we went on our happy merry-go-way. But I didn't realize that. And I was like, this is a cool mom. Going to the beach, who does that before school?
Yeah.
You know? So anyone can think of anything else about their mother.
I can think, I never thought my mother was perfect, but if my mom said something, then that was gospel. And I can remember when I was in 8th grade and taking economics, and they were teaching us how to cook and bake. And then she was talking about measurements, and I was like, my mom doesn't use measurements. She says, well, her cakes don't come out perfect. I was like, yes, my mom cakes do. She don't have to use measurements. She know how to do it, and they come out perfect. So I know, and I wasn't one to talk back, but she was saying my mom couldn't bake perfectly. Yes, she could. And I wasn't gonna let her tell me any differently.
Absolutely. But as we mature, as I indicated, we learned that, perfection really came from God. God is perfect. So I know when we sit back and we reminisce on some of the things that our moms has done, I would say right now, as an adult, as a Christian, God wasn't pleased. God wasn't pleased.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. So I wanted to ask the next question I'm going to put out there. And also I want to encourage our viewers, put in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have a question as it relates to moms do make mistake too. What were some of the mistakes you believe your mom made? What were some of the mistakes you believe your mom made?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, I know one of the things we joke with her about it. She's 99 now, and when we was coming up, I think she did not spare the rod, and I think we used to get some what we call whipping, spankings, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
That I thought that we should have gotten. Three of us, I had two sisters older than me and myself. We came up, and if you got we'll get up and we'll clean the house up, whatever got to be done. Because she was going to work at like 5 a.m, and she'd be back home about 1. And we'd go through the house, make sure her rug straightened up and all like this. And she'd come home, and one rug tore up. She don't call for 1, she called for 3. And 3 would get their butt towed up. And like I was telling her, Mama, she told me, I did that? I said, yes, ma'am, you sure did. You did not. She didn't spare the rod. But the thing about it, it didn't hurt me. I think it made me a better person.
Well, it hurt me. It happened.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it, I did the same thing to my kids. If something was broken, everyone. My mom had 2 biological girls and 2 adopted, so it was 4 of us. So everyone got a whooping, and I was like, I didn't do it, and I felt that was wrong. I was innocent, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times when she charged at me because I'm the eldest, then my younger sister got spared. Like some saint just appeared out of nowhere and stopped her. And I was like, what happened to me? How comes no one stopped her when she got me? And I was innocent. So we always laugh about that, my sisters and I. We always laugh about that. Oh man.
Yeah, I think for me,
Amanda?
For me, I think it's hard for me to really view it as a mistake because I grew up in a single parent home, and knowing that there were certain things that my mom just could not do. And then there were things where she was focused on work that a lot of responsibility fell on me as the oldest child. And I don't really view it as a mistake, but I do look back on it and, at times wish I didn't have that responsibility levied on me at a young age. But unfortunately, because of our circumstances, it was. And one of the things that I've learned through the years, and this is through my own personal reflection, is that my mom could only do what she knew to do.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that her knowledge and understanding was limited based on what she was taught. And for the longest time, and I've shared this with her and I've shared this with my siblings, I was angry because I thought my mom should do more or better than what she was. And it took a while for me to get over being angry at her for that. And when I came to the realization that she could only do what she knew to do, then I was able to release that anger.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and being the oldest child, sometimes it's a blessing, and feel somewhat like a curse. If things went wrong, you're the oldest.
Yeah.
I left you in charge, but I don't want to be in charge. And that's what happened, particularly with single parents. A lot of us. Well, I grew up in a home with a father, but my mom was a single parent. And we know that, and he knows that too. And that puts a lot of strain on us, particularly those who are the eldest one, because your mother can only do so much.
Yeah.
And the song, I don't remember who sang the song, Superwoman. Women, we are superwomen, but we need that support. Whether it's from our spouse, whether it's from our sibling, whether it's from our children. And it's a lot of it's overwhelming at times, particularly for those who are I would say the second in command. In the absence of the father, that oldest sibling now becomes the one that have to make all of these decisions. And it can be challenging, and I'm speaking from experience, and that's one of the mistakes I made as a mom. I was a single parent, and I have a wonderful daughter. She was a taskmaster, be excellent in military and police station. And if I say, look, I have to go to work, you're in charge, she took it serious. And that cost somewhat. Her leadership skill is excellent, but it caused somewhat a challenge with her and her sibling. They love each other, but she does not know now how to be the sister rather than his mother. And I caused that. And I did not realize that until, believe it or not, probably last year or so. And she's 27. So those are some of the challenges that, or the mistakes I would say that I've made as a mother. It's molded her to be this woman who's strong, no nonsense, but I didn't help her to be that sister that he really needed. In fact, he said to me, "You're my sister and she's my mother." And we had a very good discussion on it. And that's what happens to us as single parent moms. The burden what we place on that oldest child. And like you said, I'll go back to what you say, Amanda. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew. It was the responsibility of that oldest sibling to help me out. So that can in itself be overwhelming. Tiffany, anything or Johnny, you want to add to that?
I do, because my mom has 10 children. I'm number 9. I'm number 9. And opposite to Dan, which I guess, I don't know if she got tired with the last 2 or last 3, but she spared the rod. And I think because of that, my life went a different way.
Uh-huh.
and she had a husband, and just like you said, she was actually a single mom, even though there was a male figure there. It wasn't it was more damaging to us than it was helpful to us. So,
Absolutely.
and another thing with my mom, I can say that the positive thing, I can always remember her referring us back to God.
Mhm.
No, she's a godly woman. Like, she will always refer us back to God. If I don't know anything else, I know who to call on. She always taught us who to call on. But I
Uh-huh.
would say she was kind of too lenient with us, the last few of us, of my siblings. I wish we would have had more discipline.
Mhm.
Is what I would say the mistake was, or the learning lesson would be. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like a little lenient, and I chose a different path. But I know that was a part of my. Now I know that was a part of who I am. God doesn't make any mistakes.
Yes.
So, and she only could do what she knew how to do. Because I had problems too with forgiving her, with forgiving my mother, and I was angry. But she can only teach. You can't teach something you don't know.
Yeah.
You can't love someone if you don't know how to love. You can't be a mother. You can only be a mother with how your mother raised you,
Yeah.
unless you pull different resources. But she did the
Uh-huh.
best that she knew how to do, especially with 10 children. And I still think she did pretty good. None of us are incarcerated. Everyone is still alive. Everyone has good lives. So I still commend my mother. She did a great job with what tools she had and what she knew how to do.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the point that you made in reference to resources, um, the Bahamas is considered Caribbean, and the way how we raise our children may be different than the way how North Americans raise their children.
Yeah.
We don't do the one, two, three, or time out, or
We
you're
don't
being
know.
my mother had some full eyes. I got some of her full eyes, but she had full eyes than me. And I did not get whooping a lot, Dan, because all she had to do was
Look,
close those eyes and I would start crying. Right?
it pierced your
I felt like
soul.
I was being
Right.
whooped. Right? My mom's descendant, she's from Jamaica. So we would normally say she bring out the Jamaican in us. It's a thing that she did. And it's like the whole world or the earth shakes
Mm.
when she's disciplining, right? And that's how I was. That's how my mom was with me. My kids were a bit more daring. So, the rod, I had to bring out the rod for them. My mom did only had to speak or make movement and I would listen. But
Mhm.
what I found that my children, they both live in Canada. The culture is different there. My daughter is a teacher, primary school and high school children. So it's a different culture altogether together when it comes to discipline. And
Mhm.
there's some things that she's learning and trying to help me now as a mother. As I indicated, I have a stepson, so I now have to probably do the timeout in my own or whatever. But she is educating me. But I think, yeah, it depends on the environment you're in, the way how we even discipline as a mother may differ. If we spank someone here, that's not abuse, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
someone else, that would be
Right.
abuse.
Yeah.
So just finding a way in which we could do things right. Mama did it to me, and it wasn't
Mhm.
abuse. But if I do it now, it may be
Yeah.
considered abuse.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, when we look at resources, we're now learning from each other.
Mhm.
I know Deborah and Dan, they're the veteran on the platform, 40
Yeah.
something years as a mother. Whew, good Lord. I hope Jesus come before I get to that. So I have another question.
Mm.
What are some mistakes from what you observe with you as a mother And I want the guys to chime in because you're looking at us as women. For those who have godchildren, or you have your children biologically, what are some mistakes mothers have made when raising their children? What are some of the mistakes that you know?
Well, I guess I'll start. I haven't said anything yet. So I think this is from personal experience and from what I've seen. I think at times, not all the time, but I think at times, um, mothers have to be careful, especially when there's boys. Mothers have to be careful to allow husbands to discipline boys the way boys need to be disciplined, and not let mama baby or come in and say, "Oh, don't do that, don't," because men know men. I'm trying to keep you from going through some of the same stuff that I did, that I went through. I'm trying to train you up. I'm trying to teach you not to go in the direction I went through. And so I know that. So I know that, and that's what I'm. So I think mothers have to sometimes allow, especially if there's a man in your house, you have to allow him to be the father, be the husband that he's there to be, and not step in or not think, oh, he's being too hard or he's being too harsh. You have to allow him to be the husband or the man in the house, because I think boys and girls, they need to have, I'll put it like this, what's coming up. Sometimes my wife would say, stop doing that. And they keep doing it. But if I say stop, oh, they stop immediately. Because I think there's an authority in their voice. Not saying that she don't have authority, but I think there's authority not only in the authority that I have as a man, but authority given by God for me to train up and be the man of the house. Mm-hmm. So I think mothers should, especially those that have husbands, you have a husband or a man in the house, you should allow him to be that person. Now, it's another thing if he's not stepping to the plate. Now that's another story. But if he's there and he's trying to do the best thing, support him and allow him to be the man of the house.
All righty. I hear you. It's like it was in my head. It's like you were in my head. You know? I indicated I had a boy and a girl. So single parent. A good thing about our church, the men in the church, they were there for my son. So the discipline issues was not as tedious or as hard for me. But I hear exactly what you're saying. I in my new marriage, there was a time when I know my husband was dealing with a matter and I tried to intervene. I was using the resources that I read. And I never forgot what he did. He looked at me very respectfully with some evil eyes. And Tiffany, a heartbeat. And he said, baby, very nice. Don't ever do that again. Yes. I said, yes. And listen, Dan, you would think I was a police officer or I said, yes, sir.
I've done the same. I've told her that. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah. And I learned early. I learned early. Because, it sometimes it seems harsh, but I mean, I'm understanding that the man's touch, I know we're talking about moms, but I know the man's touch, it goes further, especially when disciplining and dealing with our boys. So, yeah.
There was a saying we had when we was coming up. My mom would use. She said, "I'm gonna whoop you in the house, so you won't go out there and the man don't beat you in the street." So.
Oh wow! My sister have this famous saying: "From the womb to the tomb, she gonna whoop you." I brought you here, and I'll take you out. Okay. So anyone else want to share? What are some of the mistakes we're seeing? Whether it's within our relationships or around church or work with mothers and how they're raising their children. What are some of the things that we're seeing?
I guess one of the things I see with my wife, with the baby, the youngest. Now that's mama's boy. Some of the things I see is if she get really mad about something he did, and she'll grab him from the neck, from the collar, whatever. And one of the things that when I was coming up, and I took it on with me, my mama said, "Do not hit your children in the face." She would not lay a hand in our face or anything like that. And from that point on, even with all the kids that we had, none of them, I would not hit them in, that's something I won't do.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if they provoke Deborah real bad, she might want to, pop them run time. And I'll look at her, babe, don't hit them in the face. They got that butt back there, they got the legs, they got the arm, pop them there, but not in the face.
Yeah, but like
That I'm gonna hem you up.
yeah, you gonna get
Right. Took him right on against the wall, him and up. I said, "Oh my word!"
My mama believed that don't care how bad a child was, that you don't send them to bed hungry.
Yeah.
I,
I heard that.
I didn't believe in that. That's when you say so bad. They don't deserve to eat. But that was her rule, and you don't pinch them. So those are the two rules. Yeah, in the home. Yeah. Anyone else?
I remember this one time it was midsummer, and my brother, he got this little, I guess he just thought he was all in the bag of chips, my oldest brother. And he kind of wanted to stand up to my mom one day because he wanted to go do something. And I clearly remember it looked like my mama just ripped her shirt and became Superwoman. And he was walking, he was talking back, and he was walking down the steps going out of the house. And he turned around and said something. And I'm telling you, it looked like my mom just turned into Superwoman or the Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, I understand your daddy is not in this house, but one thing you gonna do is respect me." And from that point on, I don't know if that was a mistake, but that was just a learning lesson for me. I'm not messing with her. I was like, "Oh no."
That's the wonderful thing about being a younger sibling. You can learn from your older siblings.
Yes.
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, I told you guys that I was angry at my mom because of all the responsibility. And I think one of the things that I did as a mom, and I've talked with Thaddeus about this, is I did not, the things that I had to do as a young teenager and young adult, I didn't want my oldest son to have to experience that. Okay. So I took those responsibilities and I did not put them on him, right? And I think in one regards for me, it was in some regards a mistake because he needed to learn responsibility. But when I took that from him, it didn't give him an opportunity to learn some of the things he needed to learn to go into college and into adulthood. He's much better, and we've had talks and everything like that. But I think for me, the mistake that I made was not giving him enough responsibility.
You sound just like my I call her my oldest sister because she's right after me. I'm a year and 7 days older than she is. And our baby sister, actually, she was the baby sister for the longest, and then we got one after. Mommy didn't give her any responsibilities. And we were like, what?
Yeah.
The dishes are not done. The clothes are not, what?
Yeah.
You're home and you're not working? What? And we couldn't believe it. And I'm believing as we as mothers age, we get tired. Is that what you think happened? We get tired and we get weak, or the resources is now turning us a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe we
It's all-
learn. Maybe we learn and don't.
I think it learn. They learn from the mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
they
I
have to
learned
be-
from my mistakes. When I had my oldest son, I was 22, and my mom, she had a sister. Her mom was the only child. So there were no males in the family. And what my mom had told me when I had my son was, you have to make him afraid of you. You got to make him scared of you. You know, you tell him you brought him in this world, you'll take him out. Well, I had no earthly idea how to raise this child. So I would yell, I screamed, I was too harsh. And that has affected him his whole life. You know, right now, don't yell at him. I mean, that just sends him off. I don't care if you're his boss or whatever, but you can only do what you know to do. I didn't know how to. My mom didn't know how to teach me how to, but she told me what she thought was right, and I went from there. So we have a blended family, but we don't all say blended. We just say our children.
Yeah.
But the oldest is 45. And then the next one I gave birth to is the two I gave birth to are 17 years apart.
Wow.
So by the time that the youngest came, I had learned a lot, you know, being with people, with children, and listening and talking and reading. So I knew different things, you know, what not to do that I had done before. And, you know, it did impact my son's and my relationship for the longest. He would not forgive me because he said, well, you know, you was just abusive. You were mean. Why were you so mean? And I, you know, tried to explain to him, you know, I just wanted to make sure that you didn't get lost in the street. I was a single mom. And so I did the best I could do. I did what I thought was right. I said, but you never got in trouble. You never got put out of school. You never went to jail. You never got on drugs.
Right.
I mean, I did the best I could do. I don't think it turned out too bad. And I apologize, but I did the best I could do. But by the time the youngest one came, I knew some different things, you know. So he didn't get as much. And then by that time, Dan and I were together. So there was that man's voice, because I have a grandson and he just falls out. But like with Christopher, Dan said he fell out one time. I was like, boy, get up. And he didn't fall out anymore.
One thing I noticed that what I've seen in our culture in the Bahamas, a lot of the mistake I think some of the mothers are making, they are putting the decision making in the hands of the child. And I'll give you an example. You have piano today. I don't want to go to piano.
They don't go.
They don't go.
Yeah.
And you have to go to church. I don't want to go to church.
Yeah, and they don't go.
Right? And I believe
gentle, what's the gentle? What did they call it now? The gentle something, gentle parenting or something.
Well, I know.
I say I don't do no gentle parenting, child.
And I see Tamika Sawyer just put in her opinion that some parents are recognized as their children's friend, absolutely, and not respected as a parent. In later years, that can be challenging, and it's absolutely the gospel. And I'm speaking from experience. I was placed in a piano class, and because I told my dad I didn't want to do it, he said, okay. Now, what did he listen to me for? I don't know, right? So when it came around for my kids to do piano, they didn't want to do it, and they had family members intervening on their behalf, and I said no. And they're both good musicians today. And I don't think they hate me for it, but some decisions we should not leave in the hands of our children. And I believe as mothers, we have a tendency of folding and not
Mhm.
thinking through the whole process, and thinking about the damage that we're doing for our children. Our children need to be pushed.
Yeah.
Children will be naturally lazy, but
Yes, they will be.
we
Yes,
need to
they
push
can.
them. We need to really push them. So I thought that was a very popular thing that I see now. They're dressing alike, which is nice.
Mhm.
You know, all sorts of things are being done as if that is their friend, and that could be as a result of the increase of teenage pregnancy. You know,
Mhm.
that's now their friend. You know, but we as mothers have to be careful as it relates to that. All right,
Right.
and Dan, you good? Because I know Dan with the police background. Okay, this other question I have: how can adult children deal with the mistakes their mothers have made that they're still allowing to impact their lives and their marriage? And you know, this is a crucial question. As I indicated to you, I just found out some things last year or year before last, that my daughter shared with me that I did, and I heard her, and she was, I mean, crying, and I'm sitting there, and I was lost. What she said was facts, but I didn't know that it impacted her the way she did.
Mhm.
Now, I believe that she forgave me because I did ask for forgiveness, and you know, she forgave me, but that was years. So you know, imagine some of you. I see where Amanda, you spoke about how, you know, what transpired in your life and
Yeah.
how it impacted, even it might have impacted your marriage as well. Might have impacted your marriage as well.
Well,
So
the anger I had at my mom didn't really impact our relationship, not between us and our marriage, because when one of the things that I said when I was much younger, before we got married, when I got married, there were things and lessons that I knew I did not want to bring into my relationship, right? So one of the things that we both agreed upon, because we came up in single parent homes, was that we were not going to carry that generational choice forward for either of ourselves. So we entered into the marriage relationship with the understanding that we were breaking that cycle for for the next generation, for our children. And so we endeavored to create this legacy of marriage and unity and being the best parents that we could possibly be for our sons, so that they can have that legacy and continue it on and even do better. We know that we haven't always gotten it right. That's why I haven't always gotten it right. And there was a time where I know I did have to apologize to my oldest son for something that happened when he was in middle school. And it happened when my husband was deployed and I was here with my oldest son, and my mom was here. She came and lived with us for a while, and during that time frame, my mom and I were able to discuss those things that I was angry with her about, and
mhm,
even restore. And it's not that our relationship was broken, but it made it stronger. Okay, and one of the things that I did when my son got in trouble in middle school, I came home, I was more upset because I thought that there was going to be a stigma that followed him because of the mistake that he made. And my
mhm.
mom said, do not, and I did it, I didn't listen. My mom said, do not whoop this child when you're angry like this,
Uh-huh.
right? And I listened, but I didn't listen. I didn't
Yeah.
obey.
You have to get it out.
And I did. And once it was all over and done and I calmed down, I talked to my son and I told him, I said, I apologize for what I did because I did not handle this the right way. I didn't listen to what your side of the story was. I only listened to what the other person stated. And had I listened to my mom, I would have calmed down and not done that. And one of the things that I remember as a child growing up, when I did get whippings by my mom, she would say, this hurts me more than it hurts you. But I'm like, no, it don't.
No, it don't.
It don't hurt you. It's hurting me right now. And if I had remembered that, then I would have known how my son was feeling in that moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's something that as mothers Yeah, I think all of us who are mothers on the platform or watching, we've been guilty of dealing with matters when we're angry
Yeah,
rather than, dealing with it later.
yeah,
And especially when you find out that your child wasn't even guilty.
yeah.
That in itself can be very, very painful.
And it could have been traumatic for him had I not gone back and apologized to him. And
Yeah.
just real quickly, when you were saying not responding in anger at that moment and disciplining my child, I used to ask my mom, why you always say you're gonna spank me, you're gonna beat me, or you're gonna give me a whipping, but you never do it in that moment. And I'm like, you're holding it on. So when I do something really bad, you just go pile all of it up on top of it. Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It brings me back to also to a point when we're disciplining our children. I remember one of the mistake I was making, Tiffany. I was using the resources and talking more, and I remember my best friend spoke to me because in actuality I have two sons, right? I have one who's 24 and one who's 10, and the 10-year-old was doing something frustrating me. And I remember she asked me the question. She said, "You love him?" I said, "Of course I do." She said, "Would you have dealt with your oldest son that way?" I said, "No, I would have done this. I would have done that." And she said, "Well, you now need to look at both of them as your son." And as a stepmom, I think one of the mistakes I was making was I was treating him different. When it comes to breaking rules, I would turn the other cheek more. And I was being so lenient, but it was frustrating me. Whereas all she was saying to me, look, you nipped it with your first, you have to nip it with your last. And that was an eye opener for me that I must look as mothers, we shouldn't treat them different. I mean, circumstances are different. Era, years, some Gen X, some Gen Y, whatever the other ones are. But if there's rules, we need to ensure that the rules are carried out consistently. And that too could cause an issue in the marriage. It could cause a problem within the relationship with you and your older kids and the younger ones, because the older one is now looking and saying, what's going on here? Right? So those are some of the, what they call it, pitfalls, or some of the issues that we can get into as mothers if we're not careful. Our time is almost up, but I wanted to ask this final question. What is your top advice for children who have been hurt by their mothers?
Mm.
And when I say children, we're not talking about the itty bitties as well.
You're talking about grown
Persons
adults.
who are listening, persons who are my age, your age,
Deborah's got the answer.
Yeah, Miss
Go ahead, Deborah.
But from experience, I would say that first and foremost, that child needs to have a conversation with that parent, have that open, candid conversation, no holds barred, just say exactly how they feel. And then that parent needs to, explain, like I tried to do, and say that they are sorry, be sincerely sorry. And it's up to that child to forgive them or not. Now, they can say they do, but if they don't, it's going to keep coming up, and you can tell, like it comes up with me. And so then they need to get professional help, because it does carry over to the marriage. Because I have daughter-in-law. I can't say I have daughter-in-laws. We all get along fine. So I know that it impacts that marriage. And it impacts you on the job. It impacts how you react with other people. So you're the one that's holding on and won't let it go. You got to get forgiveness, because I would have meltdowns because because I just love that child so much, and to learn that I hurt them like that. And I would continue to say, I'm sorry. I forgive you. I mean, please forgive me. But that was the only thing I knew to do. And I would think they did, but then to find out they didn't, I would have these meltdowns until one day I was just at church and I was like, hold up. And I I said to him, I said, look, I've explained and explained. I did the best I could do. I thought I was doing a good job, but apparently, there were some things that I didn't do right. I got you help at that time, but you still are holding on to it. I can't hold on to it anymore. I got to move on. God got some things for me to do. I can't hold on to it anymore. But you need to get you some help.
Yeah.
But they do need to get professional help if it's really continue to bother them.
Yeah. And it takes me back to my relationship with my daughter. I mean, we have a great relationship. It's just I was taken aback when she poured out, and I was sitting there, and I cry easy, but I wasn't crying because I was in a state of shock. I thought I was a perfect mom. Not realizing the damage, and I had the attitude, or I came across the same way. I said, "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't know." But some individuals, not that I'm saying my daughter did it to me, some children want to pound their parents. They want to punish them. And that is something that I would never encourage. There comes a place in our life where we have to forgive. And the relationship with my mother was awesome. She did a lot of wrongs, but I overlooked those wrongs because that's who made me who I am. And I'm thankful, and I wish she was alive still to hear me say this. The wrongs where a lot of us as single parents do. We badmouth the fathers. We only point out the negatives. In addition to that, we teach our daughters, especially mothers, don't depend on no man. And I agree to an extent. But when the man you marry wants to take care of you and you're not allowing him to do it, then that in itself could be a problem.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Children out there who are listening, the key word is to communicate and definitely allow the Holy Spirit to change your heart and look beyond the faults of your mother and forgive, especially now if they're still alive, because some of us still holding on to the dead. We're still angry at the dead.
Wow.
But right now we have an opportunity to make peace.
Yeah.
We only could do what we know. There's some things, I mean, if I could turn back the hands of time,
I
would do it better. So our time is is upon us. I'm just going to ask each one of you to give your closing remark. As we talk about moms, they do make mistake too. And I know I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there, y'all. Linda's next show is going to be in June. Fathers, we know they make mistake too.
I was wondering when it was coming. I thought it was going to be that.
We know they make mistake too. Right. So what are your thoughts on the overall topic this evening? Moms, dads, husbands. What is your encouragement to those who are watching on the platform? I saw a comment came up, but it went so fast I didn't get to read it. Okay, I see where Carolyn Colby said, talk in general. Sometimes we don't think of the children's feeling. They grow up with resentment. They grow up with resentment. Absolutely. And we have to be so careful because what they understand it to be may not be. But because of their little itty bitty mind. That's how they understood it to be. I remember I watched a television show, a movie, and this little boy was horrified of his dad because he felt that his dad was a murderer. Later on, as he grew, his dad was an undertaker. So he didn't realize what his dad's job was about. So all he saw what his dad was doing, and he took that on for years. So, children, sometimes they misunderstand what we as mothers are trying to communicate to them. So as we close, let's hear your closing remarks and your encouragement to mothers. especially to those of us who have made mistakes too. I'm gonna go with Dan.
Well, one of the things I have, my thing is for when you set your standards in your house for your kids, stick with them.
Yeah.
Because number one, all of ours, I told them, they think I was strict on the rule, but I had one of the main times they used to tell us that crime happens from between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. So when they stuck me out on that shift, that's the shift I was on for 7 years, 7 p. to 3 a.m. So I tell my daughter, I tell my son, hey, I know what's out there between 7 and 3. Yeah. So weekdays, y'all be home 11 o'clock. You go somewhere on weekend, 12 o'clock. My daughter had, with daddy, Sonia, daddy, let him stay. I said, I'm not Sonia, daddy.
I know that's right.
Yeah. So she got that understanding and never had no problem with it. They know I was strict about time. I don't care. I know we're in the family, but all of them come. I sit down, we talk. We got one, let me see, one of the middle son, he done retired. He followed my footsteps, law enforcement. I got the baby son, he in law enforcement. And then the oldest, he's in management. So all of them doing well, and the daughter, all of them doing well, but stick with if you got a strict responsibility, stick with it. Because I know, like I tell them, I was looking at Tiffany was talking about the time between the older and the younger kids, the age limit. My mom was like that. I'm gonna say this and I'll be quiet. My mom, I was 19 years old and I came home at 1:01 a.m. My mom was sitting at the door with a belt in her hand. She told me, don't never let 101 catch you coming in this door. To say that, my brother 8 years younger than me. So they had I think a birthday party like 16, 17 years old. So I have working that day and I got in like 2:30. You seen no. She called me. You seen your brother? I said, no, ma'am. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I told her, I said, well, Mom, you gotta do what you did to me. And that was the difference between, there's so much lenient, I guess they'd be more lenient on, with the younger kids behind you. If you got, it was 8 years different between me and him, so that's all I said. Just stick with you set them up and you stay with them.
All righty. I agree. Your rules. Deborah, you wanted to say anything?
Just to do what you think is best. If you have questions, if for new parents and you don't know, and you don't know, then you need to, before that baby gets here, begin to do some research, ask some experienced parents, get some input. But and always pray over your babies and pray that God gives you discernment and wisdom to raise them in the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you make mistakes, moms, we make mistakes. We're human. You ask the child to forgive you. You talk it out, and push comes to shove, and it's to a critical point. And it's no big deal to get help.
Absolutely. Thaddeus and Amanda, did I say it right this time?
Yes. I appreciate this discussion. I think I would say that mothers have mothers are nurturers. You're nurturers, and I think by the nurturing, the natural nurturing tendencies you have, I think you do a great job of bringing up kids. I think we all, like I said, we all make mistakes. I know one of the things I did when we had our first child, I prayed to God because I never done anything about raising a child. And I remember that scripture, James said, if any man lacks wisdom, then I'm ask of God. So I asked God to help me to raise up this child. So I think number one, I would encourage people to pray for their children. And I would say this to communicate with them. I would say do your discipline, let them know that, that they supposed to be where they supposed to be and all that. But I think there are times that after you have disciplined them or you have done that, is to bring them aside and talk to them, explain to them why you did. Because I think when we grow up, when I was growing up, it was do as I say and do what I tell you and don't ask no question. And that was it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I think that's good. I think it has a place, but I don't think we after that went down and sat and talked to explain this is why we doing this. This is why I said this. This is why you should be home at 1 o'clock. This is why you should be doing this. This is why I did that. So I think we should communicate more with our children to explain to them why we're doing what we do. Because I think, and I won't get into it. I think as our culture, I think our parents, our grandfathers, grandmothers, and I won't. This be a long discussion. I think they came from a very traumatic past.
Yeah.
So
No time.
So we have to be careful how we go about doing it.
Yeah.
And what I would just add to that is to sit down and just talk with your parents. And as Deborah said, forgive. And as I learned to do, I had to forgive my mother as well. So I would suggest sitting down and talking with your mother and just talking about her childhood or how she was brought up and the discipline that she might have experienced. And that may even inform or explain as to why she did some of the things that she did, and just go from there and continue to love. And it doesn't hurt. I really enjoy talking to my mother now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy talking to her before, but I really enjoy talking to her now because that burden of unforgiveness has been lifted. Mm-hmm. And as long as you have that burden of unforgiveness, your conversations are going to be stilted or filled with tension. Mm-hmm. So I say release it and let it go. Mm-hmm. And then just talk to your parents.
Yes. Yeah. And I have Johnny and Tiffany. Just give us your closing remark. Also, I want to be able for viewers to be able to get in touch with you as well. I know you have a special program, and I want you to add that in to your closing thoughts as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would say for my advice and encouragement to listen to your children. Listen to them. If they say something is not right, listen to them. Listen to your children. Love them. And also be the parent. Don't be the friend. We have to be the parent. They can't make decisions for themselves. Your children, they don't know. Yeah. They don't know. We're in charge of them until they're old enough to make decisions. Like, be the parent and love your children.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Your children.
That's good.
Absolutely.
I would say with my closing, I want to piggyback off of Thaddeus is communication. The main thing you really can do is communicate with your child. Me personally, I enjoy talking to my mom now. We get a chance and I call her just to see how she's doing. We talk on the phone and 3 hours don't went by before I even know it. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I gotta go. We've been on the phone too long.
Yeah.
But it's just that time, like everyone has stated, the time difference of, growing up in the 80s and the 90s and now in the 2000s, communicate with your children because you never know what your child may be going through.
Right.
Kids go through things that we didn't go through as when we were coming up.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's true. I sometimes hear the cry, and I know our time is gone. You don't know what I'm going through. And I'm like, well, tell me, tell me. So this really was a good discussion, really, really good discussion. I'm reminded of the song, One Day at a Time, Sweet Jesus.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking from you. And I like the verse say, I'm only human. I'm just a woman. I'm speaking to the mothers now. Lord, help me today to do, and you all know the rest of the words because I never remember all my words. But you get my point, right? All righty. So go ahead, the Smiths. I want to invite the Smiths Randolphs and Clarks to share how viewers can get in touch with them. I need you to be able to say how they can get in contact with you. I know you have some special programs, and you know we're in a world where we need help. And,
All right. I have my platform is Build Your Best Life, and you can reach me on social media, but the best place is on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org, www.buildyourbestlife.org. And from there, you can click on the icons on the homepage and get to all my social media sites and to my live broadcast, which I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a blog that comes out each Monday. And also you can get my book, autographed copy of my book from my website. I have them in stock and you can get it quickly. If you like the Kindle version, you can go to Amazon.com. And also you can see the services that I offer, which is coaching, counseling, speaking, and webinar speaking. So thank you so much. And I hope that you would join me sometimes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Johnny and Tiffany, any web page or anywhere where our viewers can reach you?
Yes, you can meet us on Facebook or YouTube every Saturday morning. We have our ministry, I Am the Promise Ministries, walking through the Word of God. If you need prayer of any kind, you can email us at thepromisemen@gmail.com. If you need some faithware, we are the salt of the earth. You can visit promise-apparelfw.com. We do have an apparel company, a faith-based apparel company as well. We're also on Instagram under I Am the Promise Ministries as well. That's where you can reach us at.
All righty. Thank you, Thaddeus and Amanda.
All right, you can reach us on our website, totalgracesolutions.com. We also do a live every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk all things marriage.
Monday marriage conversations.
Yeah, we're having Monday marriage conversations on Monday evenings at 8 p.m. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Thad does Give Me Five, a morning devotion on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, Facebook Live at 7 a.m. So again, you can reach us on our webpage at totalgracesolutions.com. And also you can purchase our book, Cups Full of Grace, a guide to gracious and attractive conversations to help enlighten, encourage, and affirm your relationship.
All righty. Thank you so much. I didn't realize I was on the platform with so much celebrities. They're making my dreams come true. So remember to register to join Vito and Linda for Couples Connect, Communicate to Elevate workshop. And this workshop is designed to get you sharing and understanding your partner in new ways as you connect with head and heart. Scripts and questions to connect with your spouse on a deeper level will also be included in your workbooks. I'm encouraging you to register today to reserve your spot. And you can see the link. I know they have the link up in the description and comments for more details and to reserve your spot today. And ladies and gentlemen, mothers and fathers, godfathers and godmothers, siblings, you name it. Yes, moms make mistakes, but thank God, He is a forgiving God and He forgives us all. All we have to do is ask Him. I'm going to sign out now. I'm Corenda S. Swain Roll. I'm live in Bimini, Bahamas, and I'm wishing you all a pleasant week. Love you all and good night.
Good night. Good night.
That's true.